The best way you can support me is with a simple subscribe. Subscribe to my channel for more content like this. All right, Mr. TALIAFERRO TV. I'm going to just kind of report the news here and leave this one open-ended for everybody to have a comment on it. So to just kind of tell you what has gone on, Joe Budden and Charlamagne did a year in review. I checked it out. It was decent. A decent year in review show. Just kind of critiquing the culture, what they thought was dope, what they didn't think was dope about the year in hip-hop. And a couple of the female MCs, a la Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, and Remy Ma's names got brought up. Obviously, they're some of the biggest. And Azealia Banks apparently thought that the guys were going too far in on Nicki and and Cardi B. Now, I will say this: I do believe as men, we don't, and I'm including myself, we don't compare male MCs in this era nowhere near as much as we compare the female MCs of this era. Now, you might compare who's the greatest rapper of all time, or you think it's Jay, do you think it's Tupac, do you think it's Biggie, do you think it's LL Cool J, do you think it's Rakim? You know what I mean? We might do that, but I don't think in the grand, and I don't have that conversation a lot. I'm just really speaking to the 40-year-olds out here. I don't necessarily believe we talk about who's better, Kendrick Lamar, Big Sean, another, or Kendrick Lamar, Drake, or Kendrick Lamar, Cole. And I think that does have something to do with we're always trying to pit women against each other, and that's just the reality situation. So I'll give her that. But some of this stuff is like, yo, what are you talking about? Azealia Banks said Joe Budden talks the most shit about rappers, yet the emotional trauma and possibly industry backlash from being rejected by Jay-Z well over 10 years ago is the reason why he's actually not a part of rap anymore. He is also a rapper who needed love and hip-hop to restart his very dry, typical rap nigga story. Now he thinks he's an insightful critic. Joe wanted to be Memphis Bleak so bad that when it seemed like he could be Jay-Z's rap sidekick, he gave up on the dream altogether. But seriously, makes me sick to see Charlamagne and Joe Budden get pleasure from tearing this black woman down because they are legit lying to themselves. Every comparison they make is farce. Not Cardi nor Remus, I think she meant Remy, or maybe she meant Remus in disrespect, and she called Cardi cardio, excuse me, so she's disrespecting him, or are fucking with Nicki on her off day. The fact that these talking heads are trying their hardest to narrate this female rap story is absolutely ridiculous. Joe gave up a very long time ago. Once again, you cannot be on the stage reality show of hip-hop and think what you're saying is true. You know, artist, your reality star show. I'm trying to summarize here, especially Joe Budden. That's why Jay ain't clear his verse for your album, head ass. But dead ass, that's why I would never even ask for a Jay-Z verse, because once you ask and get rejected by Jay, that has to be the ultimate sunning. I would actually delete all of my accounts, delete my social security number, and move to Antarctica. It would be a sad, desperate, depressing life for me begging for a verse, pretty much. Well, I ain't got time to read about no fucking penguins from Azealia Banks. And sorry, not sorry. Pussy on you like I guess you needed a pap was the rap line of the year. No, it wasn't. That's a lie. In terms of the straight literature, the double entendre is nuts. Shut up, Azealia. Pussy on guess you needed a pap. What type of bum bitch shoot a friend over a rack? What type of mother leave her one son over a stack? Nicki body Remy. That's not bodying anything. Shut up. I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 cents? Joe Budden could never be that clever. Alright, listen. Whatever. Alright, let's finish up here. She said, I have no clue how male rappers blame women for always beefing when they're the ones who instigate and create the type of that can only be one, I think she meant female in rap. It's literally like they section all the girls off to the side, and no matter how much they have achieved, and they're still other. Why would Charlamagne even say cardio could have been on Rack It Up? That could have been any rapper, male or female, on that record with Yo Gotti. Yo Gotti could have a feature from Enya or Rebby McIntyre. Now, I get what she's saying here. I'll talk about it in a second. It's like all these talking heads keep talking down on women and rap like female rappers are pets and not people. Female rap is not a fucking novelty. Men have to stop sucking their own unwashed, unsavory, salty dicks and rustling their ashy balls together, calling it real hip-hop. Stop dropping ashy ball skin flakes all over female rap, please. LOL. Then she finished with hip hop needs a few really dope black female music journalists to start interjecting in these conversations about hip-hop and give a women's point of view. This sausage party is ridiculous. A lot of the times these men are either thinking with their salt-crusted cocks or thinking with their gummy bear ingos, and these definitive statements they're making about the state of and the culture of female and female rappers themselves are really 1, inaccurate, 2, tasteless, and 3, harmful, 4, misogynistic, and overall hurtful to the female rap community. Except these niggas need to stop trying to set the tone, and I think it's going to take a few really strong-minded black women to get in high positions within the hip-hop media to make sure that the story stays intact. There's so many hypocrisies in what Azealia Banks just said. Let's do this. I'll start with the good in what she said. Couple things here. I don't like the fact that Charlamagne was like, yo, anybody could have did the Rack It Up joint and been on it with Yo Gotti and it was a hit. Would it have been a hit? Yes, but definitely to a lesser degree. It wouldn't have been what it became. You got to give Nicki Minaj her credit for her fan base, and Nicki worked the record like it was her own. Please give her credit for that, Charlamagne. That's wrong. And I'll say this. Yes, Azealia, I side with you. I do believe we need more powerful women hip-hop journalists in the game. I'm always going to side with bringing more women into everything, because I believe the woman's perspective is always needed, and for so long it's been undermined. I'm with that 100%. Now, I will say this to counter that. If we start trying to separate stuff and you start saying men don't need to judge women, I think the irony is I think you're doing what you're upset at, right? If you're saying you don't want men to judge the music, but at the same time, in the same token, you want to be considered equal to men, I think you're kind of doing what you don't like. I think that's part of the hypocrisy. So, Azealia, I would have to question that. And the biggest point I got is, Azealia, you are not the woman to come out and say women need to stick together, we need more black women journalists, all this hoorah. You're the biggest hater, Azealia Banks. I've been on record of saying I don't know a record from Azealia Banks. Never heard of a record from her. And I've seen some people in my comment section like, yo, do your research. She got music. No, the music needs to get the people. You know what has gotten the people from Azealia Banks? Her beef stories. Do you know who she's hated on in the last couple years? Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Remy Ma, SZA. Do you know who those 5 women are? Pretty much the most impactful women in hip-hop and R&B, not naming a Beyonce, in the last few years. In some form or fashion, she's beefed with them. All of them. Or tried to beef with them. And for some reason, these women keep giving Azealia Banks the time of day. I don't understand it. Got to at least be up to par. Got to at least be a competitor, get a response. Somehow, some way, Azealia Banks always gets a response from these women. You're the main person promoting separation. When Cardi B had to hit and Bodak Yellow, that was you that came out with that. The other day, when Remy Ma did the interview a couple weeks ago, when Remy Ma did the interview with Ebro in the morning, you came out and was like, yo, Remy, you ain't got bars. You was talking about Nicki. And now you're riding Nicki's clitorius or whatever you want to call it. I just think there are a couple pieces to Azealia Banks' strong-minded statements that she made that actually make sense. But because of who she is, it is the little boy who cried wolf syndrome. You don't got the right, you don't got the clout, you don't got the prestige to make these comments because of your history, your hatred, and your lack of production in comparison to the women that have been previously named in this story. I go by the name of Mr. Taliaferro, and I'm 100,000 subscribers up. Thank you for the time, love, support in the year of 2017. We're going to continue that same energy into the year 2018. Grind don't stop. 100,000 was cool, but we grinding for 200,000 subscribers by April 1st. I'm out.
I want to salute you, homie, for building your own thing and doing your own thing, creating your own platform, your own website.
I got one life to live out my dreams, and I'm giving this thing all I got. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I represent the culture.
Right now, you're turning up on MrTaliaferro.com, shawty.